Hey everybody, how you doing? It is Chris on Everyday Christian. My computer is tilting a little bit because I put my drink up here, but it is what it is, and whatever, fine. Anyway, we're going over Genesis chapter 11, Tower of Babel. Now, this is kind of a interesting thing. I was going to read this last night. I didn't because I saw how many names there were on here. But hey, that's genealogy. There's a lot of it. Not all of it makes sense to us, especially me. But somewhere down the line, it's going to make sense. We'll go from there. Okay. Tower of Babel. At one time, all the people of the world spoke the same language and used the same words. As the people migrated to the east, they found a plain in the land of Babylonia and settled there. They began saying to each other, "Let's make bricks and harden them with fire." Why they knew about this during that time, I have no idea. Bricks were invented, Genesis chapter 11, as far as I know. Let's make bricks and harden them with fire. In this region, bricks were used instead of stone, and tar was used for mortar. Then they said, "Come, let us build a great city for ourselves," and I put that in quotes, "for ourselves, with a tower that reaches into the sky. This will make us famous and keep us from being scattered all over the world." But the Lord came down to look at the city and the tower, and the tower the people were building. "Look," he said, "the people are united and they speak all the same language. After this, nothing they set out to do will be impossible for them. Come, let's go down and confuse the people with different languages. Then they won't be able to understand each other." In that way, the Lord scattered them. In that way, the Lord scattered them all over the world, and they stopped building the city. That is why the city was called Babel, because this is where the Lord confused the people with different languages. In this way, he scattered them all over the world. And think about that, right? Why did the Lord do that? Why was that a kind of why would he do that? Look at what all the people are accomplishing. Well, yeah, if you look at it from a human standpoint, absolutely. But look at what the people said. "Come, let's build," right? Let us build a great city for ourselves, with a tower that reaches into the sky. This will make us famous and keep us from being scattered all over the world. Had nothing to do. They didn't concentrate on God at all, right? It was all about them, right? A prideful thing. So that was all the way through verse 9, verse 10, the line of descendants of Shem and Abram. This is the account of Shem's family. 2 years after the great flood, when Shem was 100 years old, he became the father of Arphaxad at 100. All right. After the birth of Arphaxad, Shem lived another 500 years and had other sons and daughters. When Arphaxad was 35 years old, he became the father of Shelah. After the birth of Shelah, Arphaxad, lived another 403 years and had other sons and daughters. When Shelah was 30 years old, he became the father of Eber. After the birth of Eber, Shelah lived another 403 years and had other sons and daughters. When Eber was 34 years old, he became the father of Peleg. After the birth of Peleg, Eber lived another 430 years and had other sons and daughters. When Peleg was 30 years old, he became the father of Reu, R-E-U, Reu. After the birth of Reu, Peleg lived another 209 years and had other sons and daughters. When Reu was 32 years old, he became the father of Serug. After the birth of Serug, Reu lived another 207 years and had other sons and daughters. When Serug was 30 years old, he became the father of Nahor. After the birth of Nahor, Serug lived another 200 years and had other sons and daughters. When Nahor was 29 years old, he became the father of Terah. After the birth of Terah, Nahor lived another 119 years and had other sons and daughters. After Terah was 70 years old, he became the father of Abram, Nahor, and Haran. This is the account of Terah's family. Terah was the father of Abram, Nahor, and Haran was the father of Lot. Haran was the father of Lot. Okay. But Haran died in Ur of the Chaldeans, the land of his birth, while his father Terah was still living. Meanwhile, Abram and Nahor both married, not each other, Okay, separately. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife was Milcah. Milcah and her sister Iscah were daughters of Nahor's brother Haran. When Sarai was unable to become pregnant, but Sarai was unable to become pregnant and had no children. One day, Terah took his son Abram, his daughter-in-law Sarai, his son's Abram's wife, and his grandson Lot, his son Haran's child, and moved away from Ur of the Chaldeans. Period. Yeah, of the Chaldeans. He was headed to the land of Canaan, but they stopped at Haran and settled there. Terah lived for 205 years and died while still in Haran. Some of this can be like a tongue tie, but as you can see, and if you know where the story is going, right? This is, the account of Shem's family. Shem is the son of, yes, Noah. Good call. But Shem, and all the way down the lineage, hundreds of years. What is it, like 1,500 years or something? I'm ballparking. I didn't count. But another 1,500 years, and then you have Abram. Now, if you know where the story is going, Abram becomes Abraham, and we're all descendants of Abraham, right? But that is for another chapter. So, again, a lot of lineage, Tower of Babel. God split us up, and my personal, I'm not 100% sure if that's correct, but my personal thinking is us. It had nothing to do with God, right? They just came out of a flood. I would say not too much long ago, but I can't remember what the exact time frame was. If it's 1,000 years, if it was 100, 200, 300 years, couldn't tell you. I know we read it a couple days ago, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. So during that time frame, there's a lot that can happen. We're going to read later on during Micah's time. It was 100 years after, I think, I can't think of the guy's name. Nehemiah rebuilt the walls in Jerusalem. And it was 100 years later, and everybody was like, oh, hey, we're going to, marry everything else and not worship God all over again. And just keep that in the back of your mind. It's very easy to go to something else and not seek the Lord. So that's all I got. We're going to go over chapter 12. Is that correct? Chapter 12 next time. I love you. Stay blessed.